Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Unbox It. On today's episode of Unbox It with YHA, we're going to be talking to two survivors. We're going to be hearing their story, we're going to be hearing their experiences, how this singular act of FGM has impacted their lives. We're going to be hearing their struggles emotionally, psychologically, and even physically as women. Today, we're going to be letting them introduce themselves and we're just going to let them talk a brief about their journey so far to this point. So I would be handing over first to our first guest here, Bolu Atife. Please, can you just introduce yourself and tell us your journey so far?
I'm a businesswoman, married at the year 2013, and I have 2 kids. I have an Ending National Diploma in Business Administration.
Thank you so much, Bolu Atife, and thank you again for acknowledging our invite to be on this podcast. It's really a pleasure because we really want to hear from you and hear your journey. So next is Mojirade. Please, can you just introduce yourself briefly?
I'm a mental health advocate. I'm a public speaker. I'm also an SRH advocate.
All right, thank you so much, Mojirade. The first question we have for you guys, and we're really dying to know, is we want to know if before you, we already know that you're survivors, both of you are survivors, but we want to know before you got caught, before your experience on FGM, did you really know about it? Did you know what you were getting into? Did you know the dangers of this FGM? Or was it something that your mother just told you that, oh, this is a good act and it's really cool, you should get into it? Or what did you know about FGM before your experience on FGM? So let's start with Bolu Atife. Like, what did you know about it?
I didn't know anything about it. The experience I have about it, when I'm giving birth, that is why I know that the FGM is not good for a woman.
So before you got caught, did you know about the practice of female genital mutilation?
You know that FGM, they are doing that when we are still very young. So we didn't know the difficulties, and we didn't know what the pain until I married.
Okay. I understand. So, Mojirade, how about you? Did you know about it before you got caught? I understand that you got caught at a very young age, but did you know anything about FGM before you got caught?
I found out last year that I was mutilated. I don't know, I had a lot of emotions pouring in that. Assuming this particular practice didn't happen, I feel maybe sometimes I won't like have hormonal imbalance. And during that time, I could vividly still remember, like, I could still remember the pain. Because even though I was little, like, at least when they, like, mutilated me, I think maybe, like, that age, I think I knew that maybe for, like, first 6 days, to urinate itself was even, like, problem.
Oh my God, how old were you at that time?
I was 5.
Wow, I can imagine how that must have felt at 5 years old. Okay, so my next question is to Bolu Atife first. When you got caught, how was the experience like? Were you under any form of anesthesia, or was the area numbed, or did they give you any form of pain relief before the procedure? Or did you just feel the pain exactly how it was? Like, did you feel the pain when you were being caught?
Well, what am I trying to explain to you is when I was young, when I was a baby, you know, we didn't know the time they do that thing. But when you are now young, what did I notice? That I don't like men, I don't like guys, I don't play with man. Because that time, mother used to tell us that if you touch man, you'll be pregnant. If you touch man, you are pregnant, something like that. So they create the fear for us. None of us, we are 3 number in girls, which my mom made born. So we didn't like man at all. I didn't play with man, I don't have anything with guys. Because of what they tell us. And what I notice is it when I now get into when I'm late, the time I now reach 31, my mother now asked me, "You don't have any boyfriend?" I said, "No. What do I want to use boyfriend for?" So my mother now told me that you're supposed to marry, and I don't know that we were born. I now asked my mother that you tell me that if you touch man, if man talk to you, you are pregnant, I will not make, you are not doing anything again, you go and be selling something. So because of that fear, so it now give us an sex education again, that you can have a boyfriend now, talk, so you will bring him, I will know him, so we will now talk to us together. So when I now get to marry, when I now settle to marry, I now notice that the thing that they do for us in that time is not good at all. We are now know, I just now know that the FGMB is an legally a violation that is not good for woman at all, at all, at all, because of the damage and the pains along with it.
Oh my God, this is really sad. Your husband, how did he feel about all of this? Because I can imagine him marrying a woman and she not enjoying sex in any way. Was he aware that you were caught, and was he educated that, okay, the purpose of you not enjoying this act was because you were caught?
When I married, I don't like sex at all. Me and husband, we used to fight. At times, my mother used to come to plead with him that we manage him, you know, kind of things, because they brought us as the pastor. My dad is a pastor, you know, kind of thing, kind of stuff. So it's difficult for me to love him, because you know, if you want to love man, you like sex. Anytime you demand for it, we give it to me. But me, I don't like it at all. So my home wants to crash at times along the line. So thank God, when I now have my first pregnancy, it's very difficult for me to carry, because I go through some pains, several pains of bleeding, complication when I want to born. So all these things, I don't know how to express this too much, but the thing is, mentality is not good at all. It causes physical and emotional abuse for the woman and a girl. Even for me, what I experienced is not good for me. My husband, in fact, let me tell the truth of the matter. We are separated because of sex. Because at times, I cannot express it that we are fighting because of sex. I don't like it at all. If they touch me, I will just shout on him that leave me alone. What is it now? Because I'm not emotionally moved. I don't feel it. I don't like it. I don't know. I used to think, even I used to ask my friends that, what do you mean by sex? What is the enjoyment in it? Because me, I didn't see any enjoyment on it. And you know that man like this thing too much. Man like sex too much because of the way God creates them. And when I noticed that this thing we used to fight all the time, what I let my husband know that maybe we should do. He now take his transfer to another place because he's working with federal staff stuff. So because of that thing, so I just let him go. But we used to communicate, we talk, but he now knows my problem, that the problem I have is sex. So I didn't enjoy that thing because of that FGM.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that, Boluwatipe. We'll get back to you. Majorly, how has it impacted your decision making? Because Boluwatipe just mentioned that she was not really interested in men, and it really affected her even getting married. So for you, what is your own story? How has it impacted your life, and how has this affected your decision making in terms of choosing a life partner?
Like I happened to like attend this empowerment program. That was like last month. So I told my boyfriend about it. Okay, we went to go and like talk to girls, like specific girls about FGM. So I told him that okay, he asked me why am I doing this thing. I told him that I was also mutilated, that I need to like pass message that they should shall stop it and no. So like when he now asked me that am I mutilated, I said yes. It was like and hope there are not like implications. I know I said there are actually implications that, but I don't know. It was actually I don't know. It was kind of understanding with it. normal, like a normal other partner would be like, no, because of like you have been mistreated, like I don't think this thing can go on. So he was kind of okay with it, and I told him that there are kind of restrictions that I might, from what I've heard, most ladies, they might not just be sexually, like they might not be sexually, like, how do I put it, active, like they might not just want it. So it was just like laughing that day that no, that cannot just be the case. And I said, okay, that let's just let's still observe. So it was like, okay, no problem.
That's really amazing, actually. The fact that he was understanding through this process thing, that's really amazing. This is why we like to involve men in the fight against FGM, because there are lots of women out there that were caught, and there are lots of women out there who still want a relationship, they still want a marriage, and they still want a family, and they want a man that would support them through this process. And this is why we try to ensure that men are involved in the advocacy and involved in the fight against FGM. So there are lots of ways in which marriages can work, even if the woman was caught. There are lots of ways that marriages can work. So my next question is to Boluwatife. Boluwatife, what advice would you give right now to a woman who found out that she was caught and who is going through what you went through? What advice do you give to her?
I want to advise the lady that's outside there and the woman that they should stop doing illegally practice and violation of fundamental human rights. They should stop what we call the FGM for girls, because what we are talking about is damaged lives, especially women, because your home can crash. Because when your husband is not enjoying you on sex, it can lead to separation. And when you are separated, it's only you will be also for your children and yourself. You know, some men, they will not care. Then some people, when you are doing this thing, this FGM we are talking about, it can cause damage for the life because of infection of you know, all these things they used to use. If they don't sterilize it very well when they are using it that time, it can lead to HIV transmission, all those different diseases. So I want to advise our people, especially people that are working in health sectors, that they should educate this FGM, that they should stop it. For those people that have not known, because it's not all of us, they know all this now that is good or not good. And the damage that caused is more than the gain, because I didn't see any gain on itself. When you do FGM for someone and he cannot enjoy sex, he cannot enjoy the marriage, I don't think any enjoyment is in it. So I want to plead to the government and to the people that in the health sector that should mobilize all those things, that they should stop it. Okay, doing this thing now, my husband that they're supposed to be giving me money to do this thing, I'm also myself. Okay, maybe the time they're supposed to give me like money to go to market, buy some things, I used to feed the house, to take care of family, but because of not enjoying the sex, not enjoying the home, it left me. I'm also selling something, selling zobos, selling dodo, chin all around. And it's not his fault, and it's not my fault, but it's our parents that did that thing when we have not known, when we are still small. When you are small, when you didn't know anything, so anything that happened to you, you cannot say it and you cannot describe it until you enter the marriage. The 2 kids that I have, I do the operation. I know this, what we are talking about, is part of it. So I want to plead, it's pleading to the people that in the health sector that they should stop this thing. They should mobilize the rural community. They should go to community and mobilize our girls and our women to stop FGM. So I'm advising the man too, our man outside, that they should please, those people that have encounter with this thing with their lady or their woman, they should please to what I want to call it, to manage them, because it's managed, I would say, but it's not only man that can manage that thing, but those people that they can manage it, they should please manage their home.
Okay, Mojiradi, let's continue with you. What advice would you give to a young lady right now who found out that she was caught? I know you're an advocate and I know that you've been doing a lot of this, but please use our platform to advise the young ladies out there that would be watching this that were caught. So what would you like to tell them? What advice would you like to give to them?
One thing I'll say is that, and one thing I'll pass to those young ladies out there is that you're not alone. Even though it feels that way right now, the pain is kind of valid, and there is community of people who understand. Don't be afraid to reach out. And healing is not just something that can happen in a day. If you feel, you could talk to people, face therapists, create a group that you could always just like feel like your safe space that you could talk to. And from there, even the places you don't expect, support will always reach out to you. So one thing I'll have is that don't always voice out. Don't just keep it in. Don't suck it in. Voice out. I know you might be feeling like as if you talk now, you might be stigmatized and all. But please, I'm passing a message right now, heart to heart. Please just ensure you voice out and talk to people.
Thank you so much. One last question. What advice or what tip would you give to somebody who wants to heal? Because as you're speaking, I can see that you've really gone through a lot of healing journey and a healing process.
I connected with people that had similar experience, which were my elder sisters, because of at least they are older and they knew what they faced. So I communicated with them, I connected with them, I told them what I was going through. I also read like all these there are also like FGM books, so I read books. I even like sometimes I even like out of my free time just like write, like just for my own. I just write, I sit down, I write stuff. And and I also feel that if I talk to people, like I communicate to people, and educate people about how they should stop FGM, like I was kind of making it a therapeutic thing for myself too. So I did that.
All right. Oh, thank you so much. Part of those things you've written, you should really consider publishing it because some of us will be really interested in reading it.
Watch out.
Watch out, oh, watch out.
Dear audience, if you're watching this, this is your sign to actually start talking about FGM. When I say start talking about it, talk to your parents about it, ask your parents questions about this. With everything we've heard from our survivors today, we know that one thing that was common here was the fact that they were deceived into it. They were told that, oh, you have to do it. You're a young girl, you have to do it. You have to get caught. If you get caught, it's going to help you. That was the lie they told them. And most of this lie stems from older generation, not even realizing the dangers of what you're putting these young girls into. So if you're watching this, bring up the conversation with your parents, bring up the conversation with your grandparents in your community, start talking about it, start letting them know that this thing, it is bad and the dangers are just beyond the pain you faced that time. The dangers cut across the entire life of these young girls that have been caught. And if you're a young man out there, this is also your sign to understand your wife or your partner and stick around with them through the process, through the healing process. And if you're a survivor out there, this is also your sign to know that healing is possible. You can be healed emotionally. You can go through it. You can live a good and a happy life after even being unfortunately caught. Thank you so much to our survivors that were on this podcast with us. We really appreciate you sharing your story. This is just beyond the podcast. This is going to impact lives out there. And your simple story you've just shared today is going to change somebody's life out there, and it's going to give that somebody out there that encouragement they need to just start healing. So if you're a survivor out there, or you're an advocate and you want a community of people who are interested in FGM and who are fighting against FGM in their various communities, just reach out to the number on your screen. You'd be connected to people who are willing to work with you through the fight to the end of female genital mutilation. Also, do not forget to subscribe, share this video, and like this video so that the algorithm will take it further. Thank you.